dimensional array is. So here generally dimension define the depth of the array. So multi-dimensional arrays are used to organize data in rows and columns, right? So here dimensions defines what your depth of the array, or dimension define what your nested. Dimension defines the depth of the array. A dimension define what your nested. Nested means within, right? For example, I said you, like suppose I want to represent, for example, assume that I want to represent for example, I want to represent details of one student. So one student I can represent by using which array? Single dimension array. So where each student is having roll number is there, and there is a name of the student, and there is a course. Like this, one student is there. So this is representing how many students? Only one student. Okay. For example, I want to represent 5 students. Then I have to create how many objects here? 5 objects. Saying student 1, okay, student 2, okay, student 1, student 2, okay, there is a student 3, like this. I have to create how many objects here? 5 objects I have to create. Okay, like this, student 4. So like this, I have to create how many objects? 5 objects. What is it? All these objects are holding same data or different data? Same data. All these are holding same data or different data? Same data it is holding. But instead of creating this many number of objects, what do you do it? Say total how many arrays you created? Total you created how many arrays? 5 arrays. Instead of creating 5 arrays, okay, instead of creating 5 arrays, what I'm doing? I'm creating one array which contain how many arrays? 5 arrays. Instead of creating 5 arrays, I'm creating only one array. I'm creating only one array. This is one array. And this array is having how many arrays here? 5 arrays are there. Okay, now this is one dimension. This is one dimension. But this is what here? Multi-dimension or 2 dimension. Multi means more than one. So that can be 2 dimensions here. Within this, I'm creating one more array. Okay, so this is one array. Like total how many arrays I'm creating? 5 arrays I'm creating. Okay. Total how many arrays I'm creating within this array? 5 arrays. And each array, see here, this is what we call it as multi-dimension. So this is a student 1, and this is student 2, and this is student 3, and this is student 4. So instead of creating number of arrays, you are creating only one array which represent number of details, right? So total how many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And how many columns are there? 3 columns. So dimension define the depth of the array. Dimension define the depth of the array, or dimension define what here? Nested. Dimension define the depth of the array, or dimension define what here? Nested. So nested means within. For example, I want to represent scores of one player. So one player is there, and some 12 matches. One player, how many matches? 12 matches score I want to represent. So this is a scores of how many matches here? 12 matches. Okay, 12 matches score I'm representing like this. Okay, some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 10 and this is 11 and this is 12. Okay, one player, how many matches here? 12 matches. But I want to represent one team, 12 players, one team, 11 players and 12 matches. But this is representing the details of how many players? Only one player. Okay, only one player, right? One player, how many matches? 12 matches. But I want to represent how many players? Suppose 5 players, 12 matches. Then you have to create how many arrays? 5 arrays. You have to create 5 arrays. But all these 5 arrays are holding same data or different data? Same data. Then why you refer with different names? Why you refer with different names instead of that? Okay, instead of that, you refer that with how many names here? Only one name. Assume that this is a second player, this is third player, and this is fourth player, and this is what here? Fifth player. So total how many players are there? 5 players are there. And how many matches are there? Some 12 matches. 5 players are there, and on total how many matches are there? 12 matches. And you are referring with one name. Okay now. So this is P. Now this is which array? 2-dimensional array. 2 dimension. So it means it is referred with how many subscripts? 2 subscripts. One is a row subscript and one more is what? Column subscript. A row as well as one more is which one? Column. So you have to separate this with what here? Comma. So this is how it represented in the form of matrix. This is a matrix. You represent a matrix here with number of rows and columns here. Now, 2-dimensional array just like a matrix which contain the number of rows and columns here, right? Just here. So in multi-dimensional array, you can store more data. In multi-dimensional array, you can store more data compared to what? Single dimension array, right? Because you are organizing the data logically by dividing into a number of rows and columns, right? Let us see. Okay, so this is single dimension, right? So if you want to read the data from, suppose I'm saying letter, some a equal to within. So this is one array, right? This is one array. And inside this array, each element you are creating as one more array, right? So 10 comma 20 comma 30. Okay, some 40 comma 50 comma 60. Okay, some 70 comma 80 comma 90. So this can be called as which array? 2-dimensional array. Okay, now 2-dimensional array, and this 2-dimensional array is treated as what here? Matrix. This 2-dimensional array is treated as a matrix. Now what is the first value here? 10. So this is the first row, 20. And this value is what here? 30. And this value is a 40. And this value is a 50. And this value is what here? 60. And this value is treated as 70. And this value is a 80 here. And this value is what here? 90. So total how many rows are there? 3 rows. With how many columns are there? 3 columns are there. Now row subscript and column subscript. And this is a row subscript and this is column subscript. And row subscript and what is that? Column subscript. So you required how many subscripts here to print? Okay, you can print. Suppose console dot log. You are saying A of 0, 0. Okay. So first row and first column, A of 0, 1 and A of 0 and 2. This is reading the values of which row? First row. And if you want to read the values of second row, the second row represent with what here? 1. So 1, 0 and 1, 1. And this is what here? 1, 2. And console dot log. Okay, now you are trying to print. So A of 2, 0. And this is a 2, 1. And this is what here? 2 and 2. So A of 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. A of 1, 0, 1, 1 and 1, 2. A of 2, 0, 2, 1 and 2, 2. Now once you run this, but here reading is done with the help of indexes. The first index is a row index and second index is what here? Column index. So there is a row index and there is a now 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70, 80, 90. Okay. Yes. For example, you can read all the values by using for loop. Okay, let I equal to 0 and I is less than 3 and I plus plus. So here I represent what now? Row. So the value of I starts from where? 0. Is it 0 is less than 3? Yes. Then each row is having number of columns and here column represented as what? J. Row represented as I and column represented as what? J. And J is less than 3 and J plus plus. J is less than 3 and J plus plus. And I'm saying console dot. Okay, I'm saying console dot log. So I'm trying to print what I'm printing? A of I as well as what? J. I and J. I'm printing I value as well as J value, right? So in this case, will it get all the values? Will it get all the values from this array or not? Yes, because we are trying to use a for loop. Now you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 and one more is what? 9. So first value of I will be a 0. Is a 0 is less than 3? Yes. Then it will execute this for loop how many times? 3 times. Then I plus plus means the value of I becomes 1. Is it 1 is less than 3? Yes. So this is executed again how many times? 3 times. Then I plus plus means 2. Is it 2 is less than 3? Yes. This is executed again how many times? 3 times. Now you can use nested for loop. Now this outer for loop is for row index. This outer for loop is for row index. And inner for loop is for what? Column index. Outer for loop is for row index and inner for loop is for column index. So here the array can be single dimensional array. This array can be what? Multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional means that can be either 2 or more than 2. So that can be either 2 or more than 2. That you can call it as multi-dimensional, right? Okay, right now I think you understood this how to work with the arrays. Okay. Then next, now you are trying to perform certain operations by developing what here? Functions. You are performing certain operations by developing some functions. So how to build your own functions here? What I'm talking about is how to work with the functions here. Yes, but till now we worked with functions. But till now we worked with functions. But we worked with which functions? Till now we worked with functions. But worked with which functions? Predefined functions or user defined? Predefined functions. But you can able to develop your own functions. You can able to develop your own functions, and the functions what you develop, okay, the functions what you develop, so that functions you call it as which one? User defined functions. But why you write a function? I'll tell you. Okay, 1 minute. One minute. See here. Yes. Now, without functions, you cannot do anything in what? JavaScript, right? And as a JavaScript developer, you should know how to write which one? Functions. Okay. So what is a function and what is the need of writing a function? So what is a function and what is the need of writing a function? So what is a function? A function is nothing but a small program. What is a function? Is a small program. It's a small program which is used to perform what here? Some operation. What is a function? Is a small program. What is a function? Is a small program, and this program you are using it to perform certain operation. Or you can say a function is a named block. What is a function? Is a named block which contains what? Set of what? Instructions. Function is a named block, and what this block contains? Some set of instructions to perform operation. Okay. Or you can say a function is number of definitions I'm writing. A function is what? Self-contained. Function is a self-contained block. What it contains? Some set of instructions. What function contains? Some set of instructions to perform operation. What is a function? Is a small program which is used to perform some operation. A function is a named block which contains some set of instructions to perform operation. A function is a self-contained block. It is a self-contained block. What does block contain? This block contain what here? Instructions. And these instructions you are using it to perform operation. For example, you have a function, right? You have a function called length is there. Or you have a function called which one? Max is there. You have a function called which one? Sum is there. Assume that. So length is a function, max is a function, sum is what again? Function. Now why you are using these functions? To perform operations. These functions are predefined or user defined? Predefined. Suppose there is a function. What is a function here? Alert. Alert is a function which is used for displaying which window? Alert window. There is a function called which one? Prompt. Prompt is a function to input or not? Yes. But is it these functions are pre-written or user written? Pre-written. These functions are provided by whom? These functions are provided by whom? JavaScript. Can you call these are library functions or not? Yes. All these functions are which function? Library functions, which are provided by whom? JavaScript. You are using it to perform certain operation. Okay. So functions. Okay. Functions. What is the advantage? What is the advantage of what is the advantage of writing functions? What is the advantage of writing functions here is the advantage of functions is modularity. Okay, what is the advantage of writing a functions? Modularity. For example, I'm developing one calculator. For example, I'm developing one calculator. So my calculator is having so many functions, right? Calculator is having so many functions. Lot of functions are there in my calculator. Calculator is having number of functions, right? For example, calculator is one program. If you take this is one program, within this there is a function called which one? Add. Within this there is a function called which one? Sub. Within this there is a function called which one? Multiply. When I click on the button add, then I call the function called which one? Add. When I click on the button minus, then I'm calling the function called sub. When I click on the star, then I call the function called multiply. When I click on this slash, I'm calling the function called division. It means I try to write the code by dividing or by organizing the code by dividing into what small pieces. And this small piece of code, you call it as which one here? Function. The small piece of code is called as which one here? Function. Okay. So modularity. First one is modularity. Modularity means what here? Dividing. Dividing code according to their what? Operations into small which one? Pieces. Dividing the code according to their operation to a small pieces or small programs is called which one here? Modularity. Modularity means dividing it. Okay, what you are dividing? The code into a small pieces, right? And then reusability. Second one is reusability. Reusability means functions are reusable programs. Once you write a function, that function can be used either in one program or more than one program. Okay, so functions are reusable. Okay, functions are reusable programs. Functions are reusable programs. So these programs can be used more than one time inside the same program, more than one time inside same program, or in what? Another what? Program. Within the same program, or it can be used in another program. Reusability. And because of reusability, this will increase. Okay, this will increase the efficiency of which one? Program. Okay, efficiency. These are efficiency, right? Efficient. Efficiency. What is this here? Spell it here. CI. Yeah, efficiency. Sorry. So functions increase the efficiency of the program, right? Okay, efficiency of program. How it increases the efficiency? By decreasing or by avoiding code redundancy. By avoiding which one? Code redundancy. It increases the speed of the program. But how it increases the speed of the program? By avoiding the code redundancy. If you write the same code again and again, what will happen? Is the size of the program increase or decrease? Increase. Okay, when the size of the program increase, it occupies more space. Then if it occupies more space, obviously it reduces what? Efficiency. To avoid that, you are using what is that here? Functions. Modularity, reusability, and one more is a efficiency. The next one is how to write a function in a JavaScript. How to write a function in JavaScript? How can you write a function in JavaScript here? Okay, why you are writing a function? You are writing a function to achieve modularity, reusability, and what? Efficiency. Why you are writing a function to achieve modularity, reusability, and efficiency? And functions increase the speed of the program. And simultaneously, more than one person can work with the same project. For example, you develop some 10 functions, I develop some 10 functions. Simultaneously, how many people can work with the project? Multiple people, because all these functions are integrated within one project. So that is how it increases the speed of developing a project. Not only that, you are writing a function to achieve modularity, reusability, and one more is a efficiency. Now, how to write a function in JavaScript? Why you are writing a function? To perform operation. You are writing a function to perform operation, and these functions, okay, functions are, I should write this, functions are two types. Functions are how many types here? Two types. One is which functions? Predefined functions. And one more is user defined functions. Functions are two types. One is a predefined functions and one more is a user defined functions. So what is this predefined functions? The functions provided by JavaScript. The functions provided by JavaScript. JavaScript are called predefined functions. These functions are also called which one? Which functions? These are library functions. Example is, I said there is a function called which one? Alert is there. Alert is a function. Prompt is a function. Parseint is a function. Parse float is what again? Function. String is a function. Number is a function. All these are you written all these functions? No. Are you using or writing? Using. If I want to convert string to number, I'm using a function called what? Number. If I want to convert a string to integer, I'm using a function called parseInt. I want to convert string to a float, I'm using a function called what? Parse float. But is it all these are pre-written or user written? Pre-written, and we are using it to perform conversions or doing some operation, right? All these are pre-written functions. We'll see that again. Okay. Every method is a function. Some people say method, some people say function, but there is some difference between a method and function. Method is called member function. Method is also a function, but it is a member of some. When you are working with object oriented, method is a member function. It is a member of some class. It is a member of some class. Means how you call this function with the class name or object name. Okay, you'll say car.start. Car.start. Start is a member of which one? Car. But if I say start is only a function. But if I say only start, it is a function. Car.start means start is which function? Member function. It is a member of which type? Car. Getting on. Suppose console.log. Log is what? Method. Log is a member function. It is a member of which class? Console class. But I said prompt. Prompt, are you saying only prompt or are you saying something? Console.prompt. Only prompt. Then prompt is what here? Function. Parseint is what here? Function. Are you saying something called console.parseint? No. You're just writing a parseint. No, it is a function. Member function. It is a member of. If it is a member of any class, it's called as which one? Member function. Or the same thing is called as what? Method. So method is also a function, but is a member of some class. Then you have to call with either class name, or you should call either with what name? Object name. So method is bind with the class, or what is it? Object. But function is not bind with anything. But method is also a function, but it is a member of some. Method is also a function, but it is a member of some class, or it is a member of some object, right? So predefined functions, all these are alert is there, prompt is there, parseint is there, parse float is there, string is there, number is there. All these are predefined functions, and these are called as library functions. Apart from that, you develop your own functions, and that functions you call it as what? User defined functions. So the functions developed by whom? Programmer are called which functions? User defined functions. These are also called which functions? Application specific what? Functions. For example, you are developing an ATM. ATM is having so many functions, right? If you take ATM application, suppose if you take ATM application, you find so many functions like withdraw is one function, check balance is one function, mini statement is one function. Okay, change pin is what? Another function. If I click on a button, if I click on button called withdraw, then you call the function called which one? Withdraw. So withdraw function is having a logic, belongs to what? Withdrawing amount. Then if you click on find balance, you call one function. What is that function? Find balance. This is having a logic for finding which one? Balance. Okay. If I click on this, what is that? Mini statement. So there is one function is called. What is that function? Mini statement is having a logic to get which statement? Mini statement. If I say change pin, then it will call one function called change pin. And this is having a logic to change which one? Pin number. But this is one program or 4 programs? One program, and one program is divided into how many programs? 4 programs. And within this program, you divided code into how many programs? 4 programs, and each program is called each program is called as one function. One program is divided into a number of programs, and each program is called as one function. Okay, each one is called as one function. Functions are reusable and easy to understand. I can easily identify this is a code belongs to what? Withdraw. This is a code belongs to what? Changing pin number. This is a code belongs to getting the balance. This is a code belongs to getting which statement? Mini statement. I can easily identify this code belongs to this. Rather than organizing everything in which order? Sequential order. Okay. So that is what we mean by easy to understand. Okay. So then how to write a function in JavaScript? You are writing a function in JavaScript by using one keyword called function. You are writing a keyword in you are writing a function in JavaScript by using one keyword called which one? Function. Function keyword. So function keyword is used to define function, or write function in define function or write function in what? JavaScript. If you want to write a function in JavaScript, you are using one keyword. And what is the name of that keyword? Function. Function is the name of the keyword, right? What is the syntax of writing a function? You are writing a function like this. Function followed by function name. So what is the name of the function you want to write it? But is it function names are user defined or not? Yes. So function name is an identifier and function name is not predefined. Function name is what? User defined. So function name, and it followed by which one? Parameters. Okay, parameters means, is it parameters receive values or not? Yes. And function is a block. And how you define the block? Curly braces. So there is an open block and there is a close. And then you write number of statements. Write the number of statements here. Statement 1, statement 2, like this. You can include any number of statements. You can include any number of statements within what? Function, right? So either one statement or more than one statement. And writing parameters. You'll say parameters or arguments. If you want to give the input to the function, then you write a function with parameters. If you don't want to give any input to the function, then you write a function without parameters. If you want to give input, you write a function with parameters. And if you don't want to give the input, then you write a function without parameters. So function is divided. Function is divided into two parts. Actually, it is divided into two parts. One is called as function definition. Okay, one is a function definition or writing function. First one is writing a function, and second one is what? Invoking function or calling function or executing what? Function. By just writing a function, is it function is executed or no? By writing a function is not executed. If you want to execute the function, you have to call it. Suppose JavaScript is given so many functions. Okay, whenever you require, you just call that function or not? Yes. If you want to input, you call which function? Prompt. You want to convert string to integer, then you are calling which function? Parsend. You want to convert string to a float, then you are calling which function? Parse float. By just writing a function, the function will not be executed. By writing a function is not executed. In order to execute the function, it must be called. As which statement? An executable statement. Until unless you don't call the function, is it function is executed or not executed? Not executed. Until unless you don't call the function is not executed. This is how you make your web pages more interactive. How you make web pages more interactive, responsive, by calling which one? Functions. By calling the functions, you place some buttons here. Okay, now if I click on this button, I want to perform action. When I click on this button, I should perform some action or operation. I want to perform some operation. Now, when you click on, means on click. On click on this button, what should I do? I should perform some operation. But how you represent this operation? You represent this operation as one function. When you click on this button, you call one function. When you click on this button, you call one function. When you click on this button, you call one function. But how you are performing the operation? By including all the statements, within one small program, and that small program you call it as which one? Function. Okay. Now you may write a function with the parameters, or you may write a function without parameters. That is what will happen. If you want to make your web pages more interactive, more responsive, then you perform the operations by writing different types of function. So function definition or writing the function, and second one is invoking the function or calling the function or executing function. By writing function definition, it is not executed. By writing function, it is not executed. In order to execute a function, it must be called as a which statement? As an executable statement. It must be called as which statement? Executable statement. Until unless you don't call the function is not executed. For example, assume that function, for example, name of the function is say hello. What is the name of the function here? Say hello. Say hello is a function name. And I'm saying console.log. Okay, I just write here hello JavaScript. Now tell me, is it this is writing the function or calling the function? Writing the function. We just write only a function. What will happen if I execute this? Will I get any message on console? Will I get any message on console or no message? No message, because we only write the function. But is it that function is executed? Is it that function is called or not called? Not called. We write only a function, but this function is not called. But you have to call this function as one statement or not. Yes, I'm saying say hello. This is writing function. Okay, now this is what here, writing function, and this is what here, executing function, executing or calling, executing function or calling function. Until unless you don't call the function is not executed. Now you can see what is the message? Hello JavaScript. So can you call the function how many times? One time or more than one time? More than one time. I'm saying say hello. This is what you call it as reusable. Functions are reusable. Either you can call this function one time, you can call the function either one time or more than one time. Now say hello, say hello. How many times I'm saying hello here? 5 times. Now will it display this message how many times here? 5 times. So this is reusable or not? Yes. You are writing the code how many times here? Only you are writing the code how many times here? Only one time. And you are trying to invoke this code how many times here? Number of times. That is what you mean by reusability. That is the meaning of reusability here. Writing the code once and using it how many times? Number of times. Writing the code once and using number of times, right? Yes. But this, are you giving any input to the function? No. So if the function doesn't have any parameters, function without parameters, function without parameters not receive any input, not receive any input from whom? Caller. Okay, function without parameters, okay, not receive any input from what? Caller. Or at the time of calling function, okay, at the time of calling function, caller cannot send any values. When if you are writing a function without parameters. Here, I write a function say hello. Can I give an input to this say hello? Okay, can I give input as Naresh? No, because this function is with parameters or without? Without. Okay, it is not with parameters, but it is without parameters. But even though I send a value, but is it given any error? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How many times it is called? 5 times. But these values are stored. Okay, these values are stored. I'll tell you where these values are stored. But these values are stored. Okay, even though if you are writing a function without, or suppose I'm trying to say hello, but say hello, actually this is what here? Error. Because is it this function is with arguments or without arguments, or sorry, with parameters or without parameters? Without parameters. So here I'm writing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now can you send this many number of values? No. But are you write the function with the parameters or without? Without. But is it these values are received by this function? Yes. But I'll tell you that how it will receive and where these values get stored. But it is not a good programming writing a function without parameters and giving what? values, right? But if the function doesn't have any parameters, then it doesn't receive any values, right? Yes. So until unless you don't write parameters, you cannot send a value. But function with parameters, parameters receives what? Receives values from whom? Caller. You can send the values. You can send the values if the function is having parameters. For example, I'm writing a function. So there is a function called, what is the name of the function? A comma add. What is the name of the function? Add. Now this function is having how many parameters here? Parameter A and parameter B. Parameter A is there and parameter B is there, and A and B are which type? A and B are which type? Is it type is defined or not defined? Not defined, because JavaScript is which one? Scripting language, but it is dynamically typed. Is it declaration of A? Is it declaration defined? Dynamically typed. It means, is it variable is declared with a type or without type? Without type. But here A and B are which type? Or A and B are which type? Any type. Means this function can add only integers or any type of values. Any type of values. Because is it type is defined or not defined? Not defined. Now I just write here console.log. I just print the value of A and B. So this is one function. Suppose function, okay. So add is there, right? A comma B comma, what is this? A plus B. Okay. So there is a function. What is the name of the function? Sub. Sub is another function. And I'm saying console.log. I just write A comma B comma A minus B. Okay, now. So there is one more function called multiply A comma B, and I'm saying console dot log A comma B comma A star. What is that here? B. So these functions receive how many values here? 2 values. Now here the function receive how many values? 2 values. Here the function receive how many values? 2 values. Okay, right? Now after this, if I execute, will I get any output of? No, because are we write the functions, or is it functions are written or functions are called? Functions are written. Functions are written, but these functions are not called. So until unless you don't call the function, is it functions are executed of? No. Now you have to call it. You always call the function with the name, and this function is having how many parameters? 2 parameters. I'm saying 10 comma 20. Now this is calling add function, sub function. I'm saying 10 comma 5. There is a function called multiply. This time I'm saying 10 comma 5 comma some 3. Now this is called as invoking function. Until unless function is not invoked, the function is never called. This is also invoking function, and this is also what here invoking function. Invoking function, right? Now you can see the values are displayed 10, 20, 30, and 10, 5, and 5, and 5, 3, and what? 15. Now you can also invoke this function when you click on the button. You also invoke this function when you click on which one? Button. Input. So you can give directly. What is this? Button. Okay. So button value. So value is, okay, what is the value I'm saying? Add. Then I'm saying on click. So I'm saying on click. Which function are you calling? Add. You are calling the add function, or okay, I'm writing one function. What is the name of the function? Is say hello. What is the name of the function? Say hello. And where I'm displaying a message. Hello JavaScript, like this. Okay. But when this function is called, what is the name of the function I'm calling? say hello. But when I'm calling this function, say hello, when you click on the button, say, what is the name of the button? Say it. Okay. Okay. Now there is a button is there. We'll define the width. Because we have not defined the size, right? So you have to define the size here. Okay, so what is the name of the function I'm calling? Say hello. But when I'm calling this function, when I click on this button, now you can see hello Java script. But I have not defined the width and height of the button. So for that you have to use which one? Or which one you have to use? Style. Okay, style. You have to use a style, or you can directly define which one? Width of the button. So this is a width which is given some 100 pixels. What is the width of the button is given? 100 pixels. But are you define any style for this button? No. Okay. So you can define the style, but just try to understand what will happen when I click on this button called a clicker. When I click on the button called click, or you can use input type. Input type equal to which one? Button. Sorry. Input type equal to button, and value is what here? Click. So when you click on this button, so there is a button, and when you click on this button, now you can see the message, hello JavaScript, and this is again, yes. Now if you want to perform some operation, okay, so you are performing the operation by using which one? Click. Okay, yes. So this is a function which you are calling, and what is the name of the function you are calling? Say hello. But always you call the function, if it is having parameters, you have to give the values. If it is not having a parameters, you just write empty parenthesis. And if it is values are there or parameters are there, you call the function along with sending which one? Values. You call the function by sending which one? Values, right? Yes. So you can write a function with the parameters. If the function is having parameters, then it receives the values. But if the function is not having any parameters, then it cannot receive any values, right? So function not only receive values, function also return value, but that can be done by using which keyword? A return keyword. So function receive the values in the form of which one? Parameters. But after performing the operation, then it can return the value. But how a function can return the value? By using which one? Return keyword. Now return is generally you call it as process control statement, right? Process control statement, or it is also called which statement? Branching statement. Okay. So this statement is used. The statement is used inside what? Function. Where you use this statement return? Actually, this return statement is used inside the function. Now, inside this add function, are you said return or printing result or returning result? Printing it. Console.log means you are printing on a console. What you are printing on the console? A value and what? B value and A plus B value. I don't want to print it, but rather than I want to return to which one? Caller. I want to return the result to whom? Caller. Caller means the person who call, the function who calls is which function? Add function. The person who calls which function? Sub function. For example, if you take parseInt is there. What is the name of the function? parseInt. Okay, what is the name of the function here? parseInt is a function. What parseInt is doing? Is it receiving some values or not? Yes, I'm entering some value. Now, what is the value I've given? 50. But 50 is a value represented as, or 50 is a value represented as what? String. And this string is given to which function? parseInt. But what parseInt is doing? It is converting the string representation of integer to what? Integer. After converting, what it is doing? Is it printing or returning? Returning. So whenever function returns a value, it is assigned to one, or it is assigned to one variable. It is assigned to one variable. But how you are trying to convert it? By using one predefined function. And what is the name of that function? ParseInt. So function not only receive values, it is also return the value. But how a function returns the value? By using a keyword called what? Return. So you can make the function as one expression, right? A plus B. Is it this expression return one value or not? Yes. If the expression, this is A plus B is returning one value, and that value is assigned to another variable. What is that variable? C. In the same way, I'm saying C equal to, what is the name of the function? Add 10 comma 20. So add is a function is received how many values? 2 values. And after receiving these 2 values, is it returning result or not? Yes. So this expression, this function expression is assigned to one variable. When you assign the function to a variable, if the function return, or when you assign the function to a variable, if the function return value, you assign the function to a variable if the function return value. You don't assign a function to any variable if the function doesn't return any value. But how a function returns a value, and that is done by using which keyword? A return keyword. Okay, so this keyword, this return keyword, what it will do? Returns value. Okay, returns value to which one? Calling function. Or to which one? Caller. To the calling function or caller. So if the function returns value, that is called function expression. If function returns value, value, it is called which one? Function expression function. I can call this as a expression function, because expression is evaluated and returned, or expression is evaluated and return value. 10 plus 20 minus 5. This is one expression or not? Yes. This is called as which expression? Arithmetic expression. Now 10 plus 20 is a 30 minus 5 is 25. You assign this expression to one variable or not? Yes, because this expression is returning some value. In the same way, result equal to some add 10 comma 20. Now this function is also returning some value. Is it printing or returning? Returning. So whenever function returns a value, then it is assigned to one. Variable. Okay. So what is this variable here? A result. Right? Yes. So function not only receive values, but function also return value. Means you write a function with parameters, you write a function without parameters, you write a function which return value, you write a function which doesn't return value. If it doesn't return value, don't write any keyword called return. But if it returns value, you write inside a function which one? Return. For example, see here. Okay, for example, okay, so I'm writing a function. So what is the name of the function I write here? Add. Add is a function and C equal to A plus. So let C equal to A plus B. Then return which value? C value. Now in the previous example, add function is returning value or printing value. In the previous example, add function is printing the value on console or returning the value to the caller? Printing. But this is an expression or not? Yes. Add is a function expression or expression function, and this function receives how many values? 2 values. Add it, then return result. Return the result. It means I'm saying let a result Let result equal to, I'm saying add. And I'm calling this function by sending how many values? 2 values. Okay, then what will happen in this case? Now this add function is called sending how many values? 2 values, that is 10, and one more is what? 20. And after that, it is adding these 2 numbers and assign to which variable? C. And this C value is return to the caller. So where this C value is written inside one variable called which one? Result. It is written whenever function returns a value, that function should be assigned to one variable. Whenever function returns value, that function should assign to one variable. So function is returning, then caller should hold it or not? Yes. If it is not holding, that result is lost or not? Yes. After holding this value, what caller will do? He may further do some operation like console.log result. So who is printing this result? Function is printing or caller is printing? Or a function is printing or caller is printing? Caller, right? Within the function, are you printing a? No. Within the function, only operation is done. After performing addition, what it is doing, is it printing or returning the value? Returning the value, and this value is assigned. This value is assigned to one variable. And what is the name of this variable? Result. And then print what? Result here. Suppose, yes. Now you can see the result here. And what is the result is displayed here? 30. So the value is returned to the caller, right? The value is returned to the caller result. Okay. Then I'm saying again, call add now 100 comma 200. So these are generic. So by default, the functions what you write, by default, the functions what you write in JavaScript are generic functions. Now result equal to add. I'm just writing Java, comma, what is this? Script. So which type of values I send? String. Is it accept or doesn't accept? Accept. Because is it function with parameters having any type of? No. So add, I'm calling add 1.5, 1.5 comma 2.5. So I just write here console dot log. I displayed what here? Result. So the functions what you write in JavaScript are generic functions, and these functions can receive any type of values, because these are with a type or without a type? Without a type. These are not with a type. Now 30, 300 JavaScript and one more value is a 4. That is where you'll say dynamically typed languages are not type safe. Why you are saying it is not a type safe? Because is it variables are with a type or without a type? Without a type. So who will check the type? Programmer should check what type. Is it variable A should receive only integers. For example, I want to write a function add, which should add only which type of values? Integer values. Then can you A comma integer B? Is it possible? No. I cannot write integer A comma integer B. If I'm trying to write integer A comma integer B, then immediately there is error or not? Yes. Unexpected identifier A. So why? Because is it d dot type is allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Can I write? Can I write A colon? I said A colon. Which type I'm saying? Number. So B colon. I'm trying to say which type here? Number. So I'm just defining the hint here. So this is type annotation, can only be used in TypeScript files. Now TypeScript. I say no. TypeScript is type safe. Okay, TypeScript and పంపించమ్మా బాగా అనుకుంటున్నా. దండం పెట్టాలమ్మా, దండం పెట్టి దండ వేయాలి. ప్లీజ్ వెళ్ళిపోండి. ఎందుకంటే మిమ్మల్ని చూసి నాకు నిద్ర వస్తుంది. వెళ్ళండి ప్లీజ్. जाओ यार, हॉस्टल है, रेंट पे करे नहीं करे. Okay, now TypeScript. I said, now what is the difference between a JavaScript and TypeScript? Only one. Every TypeScript file is converted to JavaScript only, but TypeScript is more type safe. VS Code and comma. Dilip Kumar, where are you, yaar? ఇది VS Code కాకుండా ఏం కోడ్ అయ్యా? You missed introduction classes, very good. ఏం చేయమంటావు? ఏం చేయాలి మరి ఇప్పుడు నేను? What Dilip Kumar, what should I do now? Tell me, क्या करना बोलो यार. पूरा introduction classes बताओ क्या? What Dilip? You are, I don't follow you yaar. I'm not running directly JS file. I'm embedding this JavaScript code inside HTML. What? That is your problem here. I embed this script in the HTML here. If you want to execute JS code, you have to install Node. Is it required? Is it required all those things? Will you run the JavaScript individually, like Java program, or you embed? Tell me here, Dilip. Is it JavaScript code you execute individually or you embed? Embed, right? वही बता रहा हूँ ना यार, वही बताना यार. I said that only. I said that only here. So return is a keyword, and that returns. Okay, return is a keyword that returns a value to whom? Caller. Return is a keyword that returns a value to the caller. Okay, you can write like this also. In one line, single line, expression as an expression like this. Okay, what you can write here? Return. Return what? A plus B. What you can write? Return A plus B. So you don't require to write all these things here. So as an expression function, you can write in a single statement. If you have multiple now, this is executed now 30, 300 JavaScript, and this value is what? 4. So you can write as one expression also. You can write it as one expression. Okay, you can write it as one expression also, right? So anyway, we'll see even how to execute JS files. Okay, we'll see that also. But generally, you don't execute JS files individually. Okay, because always you include JS files inside what? HTML, and call all the functions. Okay, now call all the functions. Yes, Arvind. Yeah, you asked so many times. Even I asked so many times to the management. Okay. See, it is not my problem here. आप जैसे मेरे को पूछ रहे ना, Somarvin, the way how you are asking me, I'm asking even to those people. Okay, because of classroom problems, classroom link. Okay, so because of that, all those problems, they are not given. But I'll try to take and upload here. Don't worry. Okay, now right. Still, we'll see. First 6 classes, huh? Okay. Not 6 classes, we'll have some 10 to 12 classes, I'll give you. Don't worry. Okay, now right. So written keyword, written is a process control statement and or branching statement. And this statement, yes, sorry. Now written will terminate the execution of what? Program. Written will terminate the execution of what? Function. If you write only a written statement within the function, if you write only a written statement within the function, right? Okay, suppose I write a function called function 1. Now console dot write, this is what here function 1. Then after that I said return. Now but without returning any value. Console dot write, again I said function 1. So how many times I'm displaying the message function 1? 2 times. So what will happen if I call the function 1? So what will happen if I call the function 1? Okay. So when I call the function 1, how many times? When I call the function 1, console dot. When I call the function 1, so I call this function 1, how many times here? 2 times. But how many times it is displayed function 1? Only 1 time, because return, what return does? It terminates. Return terminates the execution of function. Once you, after return, if you write any statement, is it those statements are executed or not executed? Not executed, because return is a keyword which terminates. A written keyword terminates the execution of function after returning the value. So written keyword terminates execution of function, after returning which one? Value. It terminates execution of function after returning value. It means after written statement, if you write any statement, is it that statement is executed or not executed? Not executed. That statement is executed or not executed? Not executed. Okay, na? Yes. So you can write a function with the parameters. If the function is having parameters, it receives values. If the function not only receive values, the function also return value. But when a function can return the value, if the function is having which statement? A return statement, right? Let us talk about, so there is a global variables, and there is a, which variables? Local variables, and there is a block level variables. Okay, so this you can call it as which one? Scope. In JavaScript, a scope of variable can be, in JavaScript, a scope of variable can be a global, or it can be a local, or it can be what? Block level. In JavaScript, the variable scope can be a global or local or block level. Global variables. So first, global, the name itself, right? Global variables. Okay, global variables, the variables declared where? Okay, variables declared outside. Outside which one? Function are called which variables? Global variables. So why you declare global variables? To share data between number of functions. Okay, if you want to share the data between number of functions, then you declare that variable as what? Global. So global variables are used. Global variables are used to share data between what? Number of functions. If you want to share the data between number of functions, then declare that variables as what? Global. For example, you have a number of functions here. So there is a function 1. Okay, there is a function 1 and there is a function 2. Function 1 is there and function 2 is there, and there is one more function called function 3. If you want to use a data, okay, for example, let okay, some message equal to global. I just write global variable. This message is a global message. Okay, global message. This message is what your global message. So where I'm saying console dot log, what is the name of this variable? Message. And here again I'm saying console dot, again I'm writing console dot log, console dot log. What is a variable? Message. Again I'm writing console dot log. What is a variable? Message. But message is which variable here? Global variable. This is a global variable, and this variable is used inside function 1, and this variable is used inside function 2, and this variable is used inside what? Function 3, and this variable can be used anywhere. I'm writing here console dot log. What is this here? Message. Within the function as well as what? Outside the function. I call the function 1. I call the function 2. I call the function 3. I call the function 1 and function 2 and function 3. Outside the function, I said message equal to, okay, updated. I said updated message. Now this message is updated outside. If the message is updated outside, is it reflect to all the functions or not? Yes, because this variable is which variable? Global variable. This variable is a global variable, and if you modify this function, or if we modify this message outside, that reflect to all the functions or not? Yes, global message, and global message, and again global message. Okay, yes, global message, and global message, and then message is updated where it is updated outside the function. And again, if I call it function 1, function 2, function 3, is it that updated message is displayed or not? Yes, updated message, and updated message. Okay, assume that this global variable can be modified within function. So function 4, function 4, and within function 4, I'm just writing here message. Okay, changed inside which function? Function 4. Okay, then I call, suppose I said message equal to changed inside function 4, then I called function 4. After calling the function 4, I call the function 1, I call the function 2, I call the function 1, I call the function 2, I call the function 3. Call the function 1, function 2, and function 3. Now you can see, changed inside function 4, changed inside function 4, and changed inside what? Function 4. Which value changed inside function 4? Global value. So global is shared. Now this variable is shared between how many functions here? Number of functions. Okay. So if you change this value inside one function, is it that value will be affect to other functions or not? Yes. If you change this value outside the function, even that affects toward all the functions. Why? Because it is which variable? Global variable. If you change this value either within the function, if you change this value within the function, or if you change this value outside the function, that changes to all the functions or not? Yes. So the scope of global variable is global to one program, within the program as well as what? Outside. You can write one JS file, and within that you can declare global variable that can be global to that JS file, or it can be used where? Outside. So global to the complete application here. Okay. So first scope is, which scope here? Global scope. So variables declared outside function are called global variables, and global variables are used to share data between number of functions, right? Yes. Okay. Yes. So this is a global scope. So just try to understand how to create a global variable, right? Outside the function, and can be modified within the function, or can be modified outside the function. But whenever you do modification, that modification is applied to all the functions. Okay. Yes. Prashant ji, suno. So what is the name of the variable? Message. Where is this variable message here? Within the function or outside the function? Outside the function. Then I can call this as which variable? This is which variable? Global variable. Okay. Now this variable is used inside function 1. This variable is used inside function 2. This variable is used inside function 3. Okay. And it is also used inside function 4. And it is also used outside the function. Okay. So all these are executable statements. Okay. First I print the value of message. What is the value of message? Global variable. Global message. I call the function 1 global message, function 2 global message, function 3 also global message. Now I updated the message by saying message equal to updated message. Again I call the function 1. What is the output? Updated message. Function 2 means again updated message. Function 3 means updated message. I call the function 4, and within function 4 that global message is changed to what? Changed inside function 4. And after changing, if I call the function 1, function 2, function 3, what is the value of message in function 1, function 2, function 3? Changed message. But who changed that global variable message? Function 4. So any function, if it do the changes, that changes will reflect toward all other functions. So global is used for sharing. If you want to share the data between number of functions, then you declare that variable as what here? Global. Global. But you don't want the data to be shared between number of functions. Then you declare that variable as which one? Local. Okay. Suppose, tell me if I'm writing here let message equal to local message. What is this variable now? See, variable name is the same or different? See here, variable name is the same or different? Same. Global variable name is what? Message. Local variable name is what? Message. Can you declare same variable again using letter? Can I declare same variable by using a letter or not? Yes, here. Within the same scope, it is not possible. Within the same scope, it is not possible. Within the same scope, it is not possible. See here, local message. Now, in this case, is it this message variable is a local or global? Local. But if I don't write here, what will happen? Is it this is variable creation or updation? Updation. Now, it look for the variable message. First inside which one? Function 1. Is it variable message is there inside function 1? No. Then it look inside which scope? Global. Is it message is there in the global scope? Yes. It will change that global message to which message? Local message. But anyway, we'll talk about how to work with the local variables and even block level variables. And we'll also see some there are some function. Yes. So some more concepts are there. Let us see this, but not today. We'll see tomorrow, right? How to work with all these things, right? So today we'll stop here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Yes.